What's going on, boys? Today we are talking a bit about true quotes statements. So I've heard this saying a number of times and it always bothered me, but when I read it with an addendum the other day in a comment, it clicked why that statement bothered me. It bothers me, this statement and others like it, because they are using truth to lie. So when I read it recently, the person who wrote it was saying, everything is politics. If you choose not to take a stance, you actually are taking a stance because the decision in your mind not to take a stance is predicated on the privilege your position in the world affords you. In other words, if you choose not to take a side on something, you're taking the side of whatever is allowing you to take a side. The side that's allowing you not to take a side. The side that is shielding you from the pressure of needing to make a decision. Ergo, if you choose not to take a side, you're probably the bad guy. You're a piece of shit, and you should recognize that you're a piece of shit and take the good side, our side. What a factual statement like everything is politics does is forces you to, in accepting that factual statement, additionally accept an outlook that comes with that factual statement. Forget the rest of the argument from that comment I mentioned. If you hear everything is politics and you say yes, then you are now looking at everything as politics. And while that is true, it will make you look at the world a different way. Another similar example. Two people accept the world is the way the world is. One believes the world is the way the world is because of a god. One doesn't. They are accepting the same facts as they are presented, but their outlooks on everything and the things they're going to think and get up to are going to be radically different, probably actually radically different, based on that one little thing that probably shouldn't matter because the facts are what they are, but that perspective changes everything. You can say everything is politics. You can also say everything is food. The latter is also a fact, and if you look at the world through the latter perspective, that outlook is going to be a lot different than the outlook of the person who believes everything is politics, although both statements are true. People use facts to hide perspectives they want you to have. Personal example, with a personal challenge. I say people are bad, or at least fundamentally selfish. That's a statement that's hard to argue. But I'm not being completely forthright with you when I'm saying that. I'm using these statements to try to get you to believe or see from my perspective. Because if you say people are bad, fundamentally selfish, then that becomes an entire way of looking at the world, when it doesn't necessarily have to be. That ESFP I spoke with a while back, I say people are bad. He agrees. His perspective is not poisonous, because he uses other factual statements based on that one to find good. And I don't think people even realize they are being tricky when they're using facts in this way. They see a fact and develop an entire perspective around this fact and think that's all there is, and then they share it and it spreads. I don't really believe everyone who says everything is politics realizes the shit they're pulling. I recognize the shit I'm pulling because I believe it, but there are other perspectives to have factual statements you can latch onto and develop a perspective off of that might make you happier. And this is all difficult because with the everything is politics example, I do accept everything is politics, but I don't look at the world as everything is politics. I look at the world as people are bad. That's the truth I've found the most truth in. There are others, and I encourage you to find them. It makes me sick, the sheer number of people who don't want to learn anything, that don't care about trying to find their truth. And that doesn't necessarily mean developing something for yourself. All it means is being aware there are other truths. There are things you don't know, I don't know, nobody knows, but there are things to be found out. And it's a shame how effective these quotes true statements are. We are virile Antichrist haters on this channel. How does the Antichrist get power over you and lead you into evil? By telling you the truth, never by lying to you. And I don't understand the Islamic concept in full, but I read a little bit about shaitan or shaitans or shaitan, maybe? Same thing. Deceiving you by telling you the truth. I think there's a reason this idea of deceiving by telling the truth is attached to these powerful, evil, dangerous figures. If you aren't on your game, the truth can lead you somewhere you shouldn't be. I know this should be obvious, but it seems like people are using these truth statements and infecting you with the perspective or a perspective that comes with them more frequently these days. And because these truths are truths, that deception is harder to pick up on. You need to stay on your game. You figure out what you need to believe. Don't listen to anybody else, including me. But that about rippity wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. What are some of these fact with hidden perspective statements you've run across? I'm curious. I should have put that in the comments section. Like if you enjoyed, because it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit sometimes. And comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. Ask the question just a second ago. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Really, we have a lot of fun on this channel. So much fun, in fact, we can tell it like it is, even though it's not at all like it is. Because deception is a whole lot of fun. That's how much we have on this channel, and I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.